Kia ora, I'm Katisa, but you can call me Kat if you want. It's Saturday, March 7th, 2026, and this morning I woke up from an experience unlike anything I've ever experienced before. I felt really compelled to come and share it. I've been thinking about it like non-stop since I woke up, and I wanted to share it, so here I am. You'll notice that this is the first video I've ever uploaded on this channel. Obviously, if you read the title, you already know what I'm going to talk about. I woke up from a lucid dream this morning, but it was I wasn't trying to lucid dream, first of all, and second of all, it was like the most lucid dream I've ever had. Like, lucid dream I've ever had. It felt indistinguishable from reality, which I think is why I'm like tripping over this, and I feel like I have to share it. I've literally been thinking about it non-stop since I woke up, which was like almost 4 hours ago now. So here I am. Bear with me, I'm sick right now, so if I sound sick or I look sick, it's because I am sick. I want to talk through the whole experience that I had from the beginning, but the strangest part I feel is what led up to me becoming lucid in the stream, because I was not lucid the whole time, and there was like a build up to get to that point, which I find really interesting, and I've never experienced anything like it before. I want to start from the beginning. I have my journal here with me. I wrote everything down just so, like, to make sure I wouldn't forget anything. So if I'm looking down, it's because I'm reading. I'll just start with the setting first. So I was in a school. It looked a lot like my primary school, like my real life primary school, but the students were like my age, like young adults, or like maybe high school seniors at the youngest. So yeah, but it was a school. That was the setting. So it began with a guide. I'm in the school outside walking around, and the guide tells me about the other side of the school, which I have to go through a door and a dimly lit hallway to get to. The guide tells me that people act weird there. Kind of like a warning, but it didn't feel dangerous or scary at all. More like I was being prepared for something. The guide manifested as a girl who was around my age, kind of looked like me, like brunette hair, also at the school, but it was clear that she was more aware than any of the other students. And she wasn't present as a physical being the whole time. Like, I don't even really remember her walking with me. I have like a small faint memory of it. It was more like she was kind of in my head. Obviously this is all in my head because it's a dream, but my dream self's head, it's like I had this guide guiding me, but then maybe she kind of manifested it as a person at some points, because at that point in the dream I was not aware at all. I was not aware that I was dreaming, so maybe that was my brain's way of making it more normal that I was being guided. Anyway, I kind of just brushed off the warning and like laughed at it, like I didn't take her seriously. But I went through the door that she was talking about. Keep in mind, we're kind of in like a courtyard area. There's like students walking around, sitting around in groups. And then there's this big building, like, I don't know, just a school building. I went through the door, which felt more like a portal. And when I walked through the hallway, it was like very dimly lit lights and kind of like purpley blue lighting. And it was just a plain hallway, which I don't know if that's really significant, but I walked through this hallway and I exit the door on the other side, and I'm back outside in the school area, and it looks exactly the same as it was before. It was just like, if this was like the door I entered, right? This is the courtyard area here. This is the building. There's a door here in the building, and then there's a door here. It was like I entered here, walked through some hallway, and exited through this door, and I'm in the same area. So I walk around a bit, and I remember the guide saying something to me about asking girls to kiss and like seeing how they would react. Don't know why. So I walked up to this like group of girls that was sitting on the ground, and I went to one of them and kind of jokingly, I don't know why, but my dream self was like not taking this very seriously. Like, the guide was telling me things, and I guess I'm kind of thinking of it as like, it felt like I was like a new student at this school, and this is like someone who's showing me the ropes and just like telling me to do weird stuff, I guess. I don't know, like trolling me. Like, it felt like I was being trolled. I wasn't seeing them as a guide in that moment, but that's kind of how I see it now on reflection, which you'll understand why very soon. Anyway, I go up to this girl and I say to her, and I'm like kind of laughing, oh, like, can I have a kiss? And the girl looks at me, and she looks like, she goes from just looking like a normal girl, like just at school, to looking much more serious, and like, it was almost like her face like changed. Like she didn't look like the same girl. And I remember feeling like a little bit uneasy, but it still didn't feel like crazy or anything. So I ask her, can I have a kiss? She looks at me, weird expression, like uncanny, and she says, for how long? And I'm like, still joking around. I'm like, oh, 68 minutes and 5.2 seconds. When I say that, her face just like not completely distorts, but like it goes from to being not human, like human-like, but not human. Like it looks like something had almost possessed her. Like her eyes went way darker, like her pupils got bigger. One of her eyes kind of looked like it was melting. Like she looked possessed, as if she, now that I had said that, she was gonna have to come up and do that. Like she was gonna have to come and kiss me for 68 minutes and 5.2 seconds. And I just remember, because I'm like laughing, I just remember my dream self like going from like smiling to like this, like immediately. And I just felt so uneasy and scared. I immediately turned around and I like power walked back to the door that I had just come through with the intention of going back to the normal side of the school. Because remember, the guide told me that originally we were on the normal side, and then there was a weird side that you get to by going through this hallway or portal or whatever you want to call it. So almost like 2 dimensions. So I'm in the hallway again and I open a door thinking that it's going to take me back to the normal side, but I guess I picked the wrong door and I got through to like the school gymnasium. I kind of look down and I can see on the wall the door to get back to the normal side, or what I think is that door. And I kind of take a few steps out into the gymnasium. And this is the part that like is still blowing my mind. Like this is where I became lucid, but fully lucid. It was like something just suddenly washed over me. Like nothing in particular happened in that moment. I just walked out and then something washed over me. Everything became more saturated and it went from kind of like the hazy dreamlike state to crystal clear, like completely indistinguishable from real life. Like felt like I was fully there and present, and I was aware that I was there. I knew I was in a dream, but it didn't feel like a dream. It felt like real life completely. I can compare it to taking LSD. If any of you have ever taken LSD, I've only done it like a few times in my life, but there's a point where you kind of come up and everything kind of becomes brighter and more saturated. I had that for like a few moments and then it went to like just normal crystal clear. Like it was like hazy dream, like LSD come up, and then just normal, like complete normal clarity, like perfect clarity, could see everything. With regular dreams, I have vivid dreams a lot, but regular dreams to me, it's kind of like AI generated Minecraft, if any of you guys have ever played that, where I'll insert a clip if I can, but it's like you look one way and it's like a desert, and then you turn your character around and it's a forest, and then you turn back and it's like the ocean. Like it's just, you look and things are just, they can just change and morph as you're looking around. This kind of went from, not quite that, but like it went from like that hazy dream state, I don't know, less hazy than usual, but still like a dream state. It went from that to complete clarity, which I've never ever experienced before, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever felt. And I think like I've kind of felt high since I woke up, and I think that's like, I feel like I'm high from that. Like I don't even know what you would call it. When I became aware, I felt a mixture of like, oh duh, this is a dream, but also excitement. But the excitement wasn't like, oh my god, I'm in a dream. The excitement was like, oh my god, I'm in a dream and everything looks and feels like real life. Like my body is my body. I think this is why the first thing that I decided to do was try and like feel someone and talk to someone. So I went up to the first person that I saw, which was the principal of the school, which, by the way, unrelated but maybe interesting, he looked exactly like the principal from Mean Girls. So I go up to him and I kind of grab his arm, and it feels like I can feel it. Like it's just like exactly like real life. I've said it like however many times already, but I just can't get over it. I grab his arm and I tell him that I need to talk to him, and I kind of pull him over to this other door. And before I open the door, I'm kind of thinking like, oh, this is probably a storage room, and I open it and it's like a gym storage room. So I take him into this storage room and I just tell him like, I need to give you a hug. We give each other a hug and I can just fully feel the hug. I don't know if that sounds weird, but I can just feel it. Not only that, but I can smell his breath as we get close. And I'm sorry because it's kind of gross, but it's important because I feel like it just adds to the point of like how real this was. Anyway, I hug the principal from Mean Girls, and then I sit back and he says something. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he says something like, oh, okay, we should like get out of here. Like people are gonna think this is weird or something like that. Makes sense. He's the principal. I'm a student. Like, what are we doing in the storage room together? Anyway, I like look at him and I remember thinking in the dream to myself, like, should I tell him this is a dream? And like being really excited about it, but also scared at the same time because I didn't know if it was going to change things. I kind of laugh at him when he says that, and I just say, well, this is just a dream anyway. And as soon as I said that, his face started changing. It was really similar, almost exactly the same to the girl when I said like the kissing thing. His face starts changing. His eye kind of looks like it's melting, just like the other girl. His eyes get darker. And he looks scared and confused. Not angry, but like, you know when someone's really confused, they don't necessarily look angry, but they look like they could get angry. He looked like that. So I got scared. And he says to me, is this really a dream? Like, are we really in a dream? And I'm kind of just like, ah. Like, I can't actually remember exactly what I said, but I said something to like reassure him. Whatever I said, it made him feel reassured, and then his face like went back to normal. But after that point, the dream became less lucid. Like, it was almost like I kind of broke it, and then I went from being completely fully lucid, like this feeling like just feeling like reality, like 100% real, even more real than reality. Like, it's such a weird feeling. Which I think is why I'm like tripping out about it so much, and I felt like I had to come talk about it. But it went from feeling like that to kind of slowly morphing back into like the hazy dream state. Like, I wasn't 100% clear anymore. And then very, very shortly after that, my alarm went off and I woke up. Now, I feel like there's a lot of things that I could say about this, but one thing that stands out to me is the guide. I don't recall ever having a guide in a dream like that. I guess I've probably had like side characters that help guide me through the story or whatever that my brain's created, but this one felt like, on reflection, not at the time, I wasn't thinking this, but on reflection, it feels like I was being guided to become lucid. Like, it was like the guide was telling me, you're going to go to this weird side and you need to ask this weird question because they're going to react weirdly. And you're going to notice that they're reacting weirdly, and you're going to realize that you're in a dream. It's like going to unlock the lucidity. And it just played out exactly like that. I went to the weird side, I asked the weird question, the character reacted weirdly. I recognized this, I felt really uneasy. I didn't instantly realize I was in a dream, but then as soon as I walked through that door or portal, as soon as I walked through to a new room and like a safer space, I guess, I became lucid like this. Another thing is, when I woke up, I didn't feel like I woke up from a dream. I felt like I had just spawned in, but I had just come from a place. It didn't feel like I came up from a dream. It felt like I came from a place, like I was really there and experiencing that. And I've never really fully felt that before. I have felt that because I do have a lot of vivid dreams, but it was just different this time. I can't even explain it or like put it into words because it's all feeling, and obviously it's all in my head, but I'm trying my best to like articulate it. I think one of the reasons I'm sharing it is because I'm really interested to hear your stories about lucid dreaming, or even just dreaming in general. It doesn't even have to be lucid dreaming experience, but particularly lucid dreaming I'm interested in. Also, even psychedelic experiences, because I feel like there's maybe not a link, but a similarity between, or maybe a link, probably, between psychedelic experiences and dream experiences. Also, if you're really experienced with lucid dreaming, probably listening to this like, that's nothing. Like, that's kind of what I'm imagining. I'm not at all. Like I said, I've had a few lucid dreams in my past, but never like that. Like, the ones I've had in the past, I was aware that I was dreaming and I had some control of what I was doing, but like, the story was kind of just happening to me. This one felt like I could have done whatever I wanted, but I think I kind of messed it up because I told that character that we were in a dream, and because of that, it kind of broke it, because he is supposed to be a principal in the school, right? He's supposed to be a part of the story, and if I tell him we're in a dream, it doesn't make sense to his character to be aware that we're in a dream. So I think it kind of broke my brain in that moment, or broke the dream. And because of that, I got out of that fully lucid state. But I'm really curious what would have happened if I had left that room, tried to go through some other doors, maybe tried to like summon certain people from my real life. I don't know. Like, the possibilities are endless, and that's the most exciting but also scary thing about it, because I think about how real everything felt. I could feel everything when I was hugging him. I could smell his freaking breath. Like, if I could feel all of that, then I could also feel pain in the dream state, which is scary because I've had nightmares and I've been attacked in nightmares before, but I've never really felt it. But in that state, I can only assume that I would, because I felt everything else. You know, I felt my body. My body was exactly as my body is now. Whereas normally in a dream, you know, maybe you're kind of like floaty, or you're not necessarily like a full physical normal form. Also, I don't think I've ever had a lucid dream without trying to before. I could be wrong, maybe I have, but in the past, like the most lucid dreams that I remember having, I was trying to lucid dream. This was like 2.5 years ago. Since then, I haven't tried to ever lucid dream again. Honestly, because I got kind of obsessed with it. The first time I ever lucid dreamt, I watched this video on how to do it, and then I did it that night, and then I got like addicted to that feeling, because it is really addictive. Like, even this morning when I woke up, like I said, I felt high. Like, I've been floating around on fucking cloud 9 because of this. Now I know like what my brain is capable of, and what I think everyone's brain is probably capable of. It's weird because realistically, I know my brain's just created all of this, right? And it probably doesn't have any importance other than maybe there's some like messages that relate to my real life, which I can see. I won't bother getting into it because it's not that interesting, but I can see that. But at the same time, just because it was so unlike anything I've ever experienced, like, it feels like there's importance, like it feels like it should mean something, even though, or like mean something deeper or outside of myself. I don't know. Like, it's fun to think that the guide didn't come from my brain, you know, it was like something else entering in. But realistically, it was my brain, but it was my brain trying to make me lucid, which is like, why? Like, why? What is the purpose of that? What benefit does that give? I guess maybe because dreams are typically supposed to represent something in your real life. Maybe it's wants to drive home that message more. Maybe me becoming lucid was like a part of that message that relates to something in my real life. I don't know. But I find it extremely interesting, and I hope that at least some of you, if anyone even watches this video, I hope that one person at least, finds it interesting as well. And please, please share your experiences with me, because I am really interested to read them, hear them, and yeah, subscribe if you want. I will post more videos of me just yapping like this. That's what this channel is, katYaps, like cat naps, but we're yapping instead. Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching, if you made it this far, actually. And have a wonderful day.